The White House Correspondents Dinner decided to pop all the way off, pun intended. Today's video was going to be very different. However, people are very, very much not convinced about the shooting. They believe that it was staged, and I felt like we need to dismantle this and cover it today. So strap in. Let's go ahead and get into all of the conspiracy theories surrounding the White House Correspondents' Dinner, the shooter, the way Karoline Leavitt potentially predicted this shooting, and all of the other subsequent things that Trump decided to do that are making people think, was this whole fucking thing staged? If you are new to my YouTube channel, welcome. I just started posting on a daily basis after a very long break to focus on my journalism. You can find the full unedited videos of my podcast, Political Pendejadas, on my Substack, malcriamedia.substack.com. That is also where you can support me if you are wanting to go beyond just helping me grow this YouTube channel. You can also go to my Substack and help assist out. And if you don't already follow me on Instagram, that is where you can get the absolute full personality that I am over there. Instagram.com/Eliana.Chinea. I'll see you there. Okay, so let's get into today's top story, which is the White House Correspondents' Dinner that quite literally popped off this weekend. Personally, I was not interested in the White House Correspondents' Dinner as a journalist. I don't believe that this particular administration gives two blank fucks about, press freedom. So for me, it was a no-go. But a bunch of people decided to go anyway and highly regretted it, because what ended up happening was an alleged shooter decided to pump up the club, if you will, and people are not 100% convinced that this was a real shooting. There are a lot of things to get into. So because today's episode is a little bit different, it's a little bit more off of the cuff, I decided to grab a couple things off of the internet that are going to kind of talk about why people think this is staged, why it looks so odd, and also why this man keeps having assassination attempts way more so than any other president that we've ever seen. This is, if this case is true, this will be his third assassination attempt. Let's just dive right into what all these conspiracy theories are about. So, was the shooting an actual false flag? Well, Trump immediately after the shooting did himself no favors in terms of debunking if it was a false flag or not, because immediately after the shooting, he decided to call for a bigger ballroom and is really selling that stupid ballroom that he's been trying to build for the last year. And he also said, alongside with Karoline Leavitt, his press secretary, that this is all the more reason why we need to fund DHS right away. So he utilized this opportunity, and the Trump administration have been utilizing this opportunity to call for, funding his secret, police even more, and for a bigger ballroom that he has completely demolished a part of the White House, very historic part of the White House. He has completely demolished it because he wants to build this ballroom that allegedly will also have some sort of bunker underneath it, which kind of calls into question, this whole idea, his obsession with nuclear weapons, right? He threatened to nuke Iran. He's threatening to do a whole bunch of things to a whole bunch of people that he doesn't like. So he absolutely did himself no favors by putting his foot in his mouth immediately after the alleged shooting. Karoline Leavitt blamed the left for, quote unquote, spreading violent rhetoric. She called out Jimmy Kimmel specifically. Jimmy Kimmel and the Trump administration have not gotten along very well. For a while, they tried to get him, fired from his show, and it's just been an all-out war ever since between them. So Karoline Leavitt, blamed a whole bunch of people, from journalists to TV personalities to podcasters to, people like myself who do political commentary on the leftist progressive side. So This is definitely one of the reasons why a bunch of people are thinking like they're just doing this to go after their political enemies, right? Trump is a wannabe dictator. He's definitely turning this country into a fascist regime, and that did them absolutely no favors. Then Trump started crashing out over the shooter's alleged manifesto, calling him a pedophile. So the alleged manifesto that they found called Trump a, Epstein collaborator and a pedophile. Trump decided to fully crash out on the journalist who was asking him how he felt about this manifesto. And again, did himself no favors.
The so-called manifesto is a stunning thing to read, Mr. President. He appears to reference a motive in it. He writes this, quote, "Administration officials, they are targets." And he also wrote this: "I am no longer willing to permit a pedophile, rapist, and traitor to coat my hands with his crimes." What's your reaction to that?
Well, I was waiting for you to read that because I knew you would, because you're horrible people, horrible people. Yeah, he did write that. I'm not a rapist. I didn't rape anybody.
Do you think he was referring to you?
Excuse me. I'm not a pedophile. You read that crap from some sick person. I got associated with all stuff that has nothing to do with me. I was totally exonerated. Your friends on the other side of the plate are the ones that were involved with, let's say, Epstein or other things. But I said to myself, I'll do this interview and they'll probably, I read the manifesto, he's a sick person, but you should be ashamed of yourself reading that because I'm not any of those things.
Mr. President,
and
these
I was
are
never,
the gunman's words.
Excuse me.
So a couple deeper things to dive into is that Trump has not gone to the event since he became president. So I believe he didn't go to any of the events in his first term. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure he didn't go to any of those. And this would have been the very first time that he would go to a correspondents' dinner. So it's definitely very fishy that the dinner didn't even necessarily happen because immediately, as soon as the event essentially started, there was an alleged shootout. So this is why a bunch of people are thinking like it's a staged thing specifically, not even just a false flag, but like specifically staged because this man does not like the press. This man has been very clear. He does not like press freedom. Why are you going to an event that celebrates the freedom of the press? Like it literally made no sense. Karoline Leavitt then said there will be shots fired like literally just before the event.
This speech tonight will be classic Donald J. Trump. It'll be funny. It'll be entertaining. There will be some shots fired tonight in the room.
Now, of course, she was talking in a metaphorical kind of sense, right? Like she was talking about his speech and how it was going to, take shots at different people in the press, different leftists, I assume. She was trying to be funny, but a bunch of people circulated that on the internet and were like, oh, really? Shots fired. This is interesting. Once the video came out of the actual, from the time of the shooting to the time where Trump's Secret Service removed him from the area where he was at, it actually ended up taking 32 seconds to move the president out of the way. J.D. Vance was actually removed much sooner than Trump was. The whole scene was fairly chaotic, but later on in the frame, he can also be seen just kind of taking a look at the scene and everybody just kind of scrambling and running around from behind a curtain where the Secret Service allegedly took him to. So that was very weird. He also fell. He fell as they were trying to remove him, which is fairly embarrassing. He fell as he was being carried out and claims that it was actually a lie that he fell, despite the fact that we have video evidence to show this motherfucker fell. The video also showed how bad the response to the shooting was. Even the National Guard didn't know what to do. There was a video that I saw where the National Guard was there. I guess Secret Service had called for backup of some sort. National Guard did not know what to do. They were flailing around. They were like, what are we supposed to do here? Like, they are not Secret Service, guys. The Secret Service has received quite a bit of backlash. Number one, because it took so long to get him to safety and this was after shots were fired. Apparently, those shots that were heard in the video that was going viral actually came from the Secret Service and not from the alleged shooter. But even so, Secret Service is receiving a lot of backlash because there is another video that shows the shooter allegedly was running past Secret Service to try and get a shot in at the ballroom. He didn't end up making it. They, subdued him allegedly before he got the chance to. That's not supposed to happen, right? Like, the Secret Service is supposed to have a handle on these things before something happens. So all of these attempted assassinations have actually just proven that the Secret Service is really shitty at their jobs, quite honestly. Stephen Miller is going viral as well because he was there's a photo and a video of him trying to move out of the way, right? Like, he's trying to exit the area, but he's using his pregnant wife almost like a human shield and has his hand on her boob at a certain point. It is quite funny and quite hilarious, but a lot of people are being like, is this dude for real? Not that in itself is a reason for it being staged, but all of these men, these conservative men who claim to be a part, I don't think they claim to be a part of the manosphere, but they definitely align themselves with the manosphere of being super macho men and very masculine. Nothing says I'm a man and I'm so masculine than using your wife as a literal shield for bullets. Erica Kirk was then seen crying past a camera saying, I just want to go home. Miss Ma'am, you should have been stayed home with your children because after your husband died, you decided to do a whole press tour and have been acting like not the widow that you are. So yes, ma'am, please go home and stay home. Ashley St. Clair, allegedly claims that there are group chats with MAGA influencers that are telling them what to post. Who is telling them what to post? I have not been able to verify that, but Ashley St. Clair was used to be a part of the administration and says that there are group chats that are telling people what to post. And the reason this is important is because a lot of these people from MAGA influencer types, conservative influencers were seen tweeting very, very similar things, right? Like, they were calling for the ballroom. They were calling for funding DHS. They were all saying pretty much the same thing word for word. So people were looking into it, and allegedly Ashley St. Clair said, yeah, that's because they're in a bunch of group chats. The shooter allegedly claimed that he would be placed in the hospital if people found his manifesto. Typically, when you find a manifesto, what they say is like, oh, if you see this, I'm probably dead, not necessarily in the hospital. So a lot of people find that to be strange. People are not necessarily thinking that this manifesto is real. We'll see what evidence the courts have for that. Trump posted a very bizarre video of the shooter running through the lobby past the Secret Service, who fired several shots, about 6 to 7 shots, and every single one of them missed. Now, why the president decided that this was a good thing to send out immediately after, during the middle of an ongoing investigation, that is for him and his dementia to know. However, that is one of the reasons why people are like, oh, this was potentially staged, because how would he have this information so quickly? Questions we need answers to. Then Trump allegedly said that he was not worried during the shooting. Sir, why are you not worried? Your Secret Service sucks. This has happened to you multiple times, allegedly. Why would you not be worried about your safety and the safety of other people there? That is yet another reason why people think potentially this was staged. Karoline Leavitt's husband apparently told a reporter who was live on air as she was retelling the story that she needed to be very safe before her call mysteriously dropped on air. So as she was about to go into why he was saying she needed to be safe, the call dropped. And this reporter was allegedly sitting right next to Karoline's husband, who, was basically like, yeah, you need to be careful while you're here. Why would he say that? Questions we need answers to. Cole Allen, who is revealed to be the alleged shooter, was actually featured in a Caltech invention competition, and he interned at NASA. So a lot of people are like, this is not like a typical person that you would see, like troubled young man, having a lot of issues, can't get a job, can't get a girlfriend, had been going to the shooting range, like this is not your typical shooter. So that's why a lot of people are concerned and like, did he actually do it? Is this the right guy? Why would he be, attempting to murder assassinate a president? Like, it literally made no sense. The shooter has now been charged with 3 different counts: attempt to assassinate, some sort of weapons transportation charge, and a charge of discharging a weapon. Now, the discharging a weapon is odd because allegedly he did not discharge his weapon. He didn't have time to because they subdued him on the way. Also, the fact that they subdued him and arrested him and he did not end up being, one of these like fatal shooting headlines, that is yet another reason why people are like, bruh. So that is what I have for you at the current moment. Who knew that the Correspondents' Dinner was going to go like this? Apparently Trump knew. Allegedly. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. If you're watching this on my Substack, make sure that you engage with me. Let me know what you think in the little comment section as well. And if you are watching this on YouTube, make sure that you are subscribed because I am putting out daily content. If you want to support me even more, you can head on to Substack and become a paid subscriber. It really helps me out. And it's only $8 a month. So, it's like a latte. I will see you guys very soon. Bye.